incredible how similar this is to the old German illustrations of the 19th century water parks that were built by the Prussian Empire. I actually have a deck of cards that I'm using for my research today. I also have my uncle looking closely at the infrastructure here in the water irrigation colonnade. I like to call it colonnade because the colonnades are still outside. This is a technische Denkmale, so technical landmarks of the old industrial Germany. And these are really cool cards. And one of the cards is the energy factories, or this is the old Prussian water centers, or water irrigation factories, or water pumps. And these are dated to 1899. And I think that's what we're looking at here in Taipei, the Republic of China. I think we're looking at a factory, a waterworks factory that is Germanic, thereby most likely Tartarian. Because I'm not in Germany, I'm in the Republic of China. There is no history here when it comes to Germanic industry. And there is nothing to counteract my theory, because what I found out, having looked around the water park in Taipei, you can go here yourself. It's not expensive. But come have a look at this and tell me, does this not look identical to an old 1800s Germanic water treatment station? It is a colonnade. It is a mud-flooded colonnade. Half of this building is underground. It is almost identical, even down to the pipes here and the big gears. It's identical to a German water refinement plant. Look at these massive pumps here. This is insane. Look at this place. This is crazy. It's not only is it a Roman Byzantine colonnade, it's also got these amazing curved windows here going all around this, and these massive machines that are supposedly built by the Japanese. So I'm gonna try. This is mental. I can't believe this is here. I mean, look at the Tartarian symbolism here. Look at the little iron gates here, the railings, and everywhere. This beautiful detail, attention to detail, this esoteric Tartarian symbolism. So installation year 1940. 1940? Are you joking? This is more like 1840. Okay, this is amazing, right? So it says it's Hitachi. Now I've looked all over this thing, and there's so much vandalism going on here. They've removed everything. There's no Hitachi label or placard. What does that say? Central pump. That's not Japanese. What are you trying to tell me, that it's Japanese? There's nothing Japanese on these things. These massive gears. This is not 1940. Okay, let's see if we can find any sign of Japanese writing, Japanese, maybe a code, a Japanese placard. Anything Japanese, valve, volts, made in the USA. I don't know. Where's the Japanese part? So they've put a few superficial things on there. What's this? Is this Japanese? Oh, AC, Amita, Hitachi. But that could have been put on later. That's one little label. Oh, here we go. We have a very old electrical instrument company, Manchester, Connecticut. Norton Amita. This is Tartarian. This comes from America. Tokyo, Keltison. That doesn't look as old. Colton Norton Meter Electrical Instrument Company, Manchester. Why is it being sold as Japanese? What is that symbol there? What is that? It's a sword going into a circle, into the sun. Volt, ampere. Nothing Japanese here. Nothing Japanese here. What is all this machinery doing here? 1940? This was built by the Japanese. That's what they're saying. Let's have a look at. I did see an information board. I'm going to have a look at that. I am not buying any of this for a second. This is 1800s. This is a Germanic Prussian water filtration, water irrigation, water pump center. This was built by an empire in the 1800s. This is not 1940s Japanese machinery. Okay, it is in its inception in 1908. This pump house was equipped with 4 sets each of raw water and clean water pumps, together with appurtenant devices. For lack of authentic record and literature, it is impossible now to determine the original equipment models. It's not difficult, it's very easy. A child's card game showing landmarks of the old industrial German Prussian era can easily explain every single thing that's in here. And I will continue to do that. I can prove that. These places still exist in Europe. You can match them. You can match the machinery, the craftsmanship, the geometry, everything can be matched to the Prussian colonial empire. And that's the history of Taiwan. It's Tartaria. It's the Prussian, the Moorish Germanic culmination of the industrial era of a civilization that has been deleted from history. And that's what Tartaria is. It's this connection between the East and the West, the German, the Prussian, the British, the Spanish, Moorish, the East Asian, the Mongolian, the Silk Route. That's how these people came here, and that's how they built this infrastructure, and that's how they paid for it. So you can see here, 1960, it says the place in 1950. Further replacement of 5 sets took place in 1950. A new clean water pump was added in 1922. I don't know if the Japanese were the Japanese. I think the Japanese were the Germans. I think the Japanese were the Prussians. I think the Japanese were Tartarians. I don't think it was a modern... I mean, in 1920s, did the Japanese build water irrigation stations in a Germanic way? Well, with Germanic architects. I mean, you can look at train stations in Taichung, Hsinchu. There are lots of places that are very old Germanic architecture. You can't just say it was one architect who came over from Europe. This is a civilization of people, a civilization of people that were trained here, lived here. Their families lived here. They had schools here. They built churches here. The churches are still here. There are churches everywhere in Taiwan. And there's less than 5% of people in Taiwan are Christian, but there's churches in every town, every street. That's because that is what was left over. I don't know what happened. A large flood removed everybody, removed this civilization, maybe some invasion from China. I don't know what happened. How did Tartaria fall apart? It's still here, but the people don't know who they are. And I think that's the problem here. So water production goes through a long process. Firstly, raw water. Okay, that's just disinformation. That's just describing any basic water irrigation. Anything to stop you looking at what you're looking at here. This is an ancient colonnade. Yes, the ancient colonnade. The Byzantine Empire maps were copied by the Prussian Empire. They came over here. They found what they knew they would find, which is these ancient Roman buildings, these ancient Byzantine architecture, and they repurposed it. This is a Prussian Tartarian repurposing of ancient Byzantine architecture in the Republic of China, Taiwan. They didn't know Formosa would have this, so when Chiang Kai-shek came here in the 1940s, he thought he was defeating the Japanese. The problem is there was a great flood and no one was left, and this is what they found. Look at this thing. This is not Japanese 1800s, this is Germanic 1800s. This here, Milwaukee, not the original construction. It was not, this thing was not built by Americans, unless they were Tartarians, maybe. So that means the German Empire was also ruling colonial America. This is incredible. Look at this. So I've done a lot of research here. This is just one section. There's a whole other section of the water irrigation, the pump room. Look at that. Look how big this place is. It goes down multiple levels. This is an ancient Byzantine mud-flooded structure. They knew these cities were here. Yeah, this was the second Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire. So that's what Skyview Taipei. Yeah, look at this, right next to the river. Curved colonnade. Look at this structure. This is an incredible structure. Charles Formosa, Taipei Waterpark, Republic of China formed